Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, I was requested to do a video on how to take apart a 2240, so that's what we're going to do. First thing you're going to need is an Allen key that fits your barrel band and one that fits the breech screw in here. You're going to need a flat blade screwdriver as well as a square head screwdriver, or Robinson, a small block of wood, and either a small hammer or slightly larger is good too. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take off the front sight. So you're going to put the block of wood right in behind the front sight there. I'm going to kind of manipulate it in your hand like this and give that a few bangs. Knocks that off and it doesn't hurt the front sight. Unscrew your end cap. Now you can proceed to remove the barrel band. Next, cock the gun and remove your breech screw. Okay. Flat blade screwdriver is next. Remove the front sight, or sorry, rear sight. And your barrel and breech will come off. Transfer port. Next thing you're going to need is a small pick or small jeweler screwdriver, and carefully take out the transfer port O-ring. Okay, so for the next part, we're going to remove the back screw on the grip first. So you're going to need your Robinson. And then your back cap and hammer spring come out. Pull back the hammer, pull the pin, dump the hammer out, flip the gun upside down, holding it steady between the tube and the grip, and undo your front screw. And rotate the gun back up and remove your tube. You then have the detent ball and safety spring in here. So just pull out the spring carefully and then carefully turn it upside down and your ball comes out. Next, you're going to remove your hand grip on the left, or sorry, the right side, and then your left side. Now, check your Allen key and make sure you have one that fits the screws that are in here. Now, not all 2240s are going to be the same. The older 2240s only had 2 flat blade screws. This new one with the black trigger has 3 Allen head screws that have to come out. Fit. So we're going to have to find one that does. Okay, that one fits. pull your sear string out. Okay, your frame's all apart. So, let's go back to the tube and we'll take the valve out now. You're going to need a flat blade screwdriver for this. Just undo the screw. And that's it. 2240's apart. Taking your valve apart, you're going to need to clamp it into a set of soft jaws. Probably take a plier around the top edge here, set of pliers, and then twist counterclockwise and it'll unlock itself. If you've just taken the CO2 out of the gun though and you're getting at the valve, let the valve set for about an hour because there's an O-ring in here that actually swells up, and it's made to swell up, and it's very, very difficult to get this top off until the CO2 has basically left the, not only left the valve, but the temperature has gone right back down, and then the O-ring actually shrinks back to its original size, so then you can get the top off a lot easier. Changing your end seal is pretty simple too. Just peel it out with a dental pick or small jeweler's screwdriver carefully and just pressure fit a new one in place, and that's all it is for that. So now we've disassembled this into a gazillion pieces. Let's put it all back together. You can start, if you want, just with the valve first, if you want to. Make sure that your screw hole lines up and it goes into the most front hole here, just the same way you took it apart. I usually like to start that screw off with my fingers. It's a lot easier. So go to the screw stops and just a little snug. That's it. That's all you need. Nothing more than that. Okay, so let's put our grip frame back together. Now this is a bent washer, and technically it really doesn't matter which direction you put it back in, so as long as it goes under the trigger, you're good to go on that. And your safety, the red goes down. And then we'll get our plate. Go until it stops and then just give it a little snug. That's it. That's all you need to do. Don't over torque these screws. Okay, it's all in good. Okay, next is the sear spring. So Now you'll notice mine looks different. It's because I put a really super light sear spring in, or trigger spring. So I wanted to lighten up the trigger pull. Okay, so next we're going to take the detent ball, and you very carefully pick that up and drop it down the hole right in here. Then your spring goes on top, and then we're going to take our tube and we're going to kind of eyeball this to line it up. Squish the two halves, and then make sure that you can get the screw hole lined up. And you put the front screw back in first. Now you just go into just until it stops. You don't want to reef this down tight yet, because you're going to have to make sure that the handle lines up with the back cap. So next, our hammer goes in. Hammer pin. Pull the trigger in. Push hammer forward. Now the hammer spring. Your cap. Whoop. And that cap. And check your line up. If it looks good, then put your back screw in. If it doesn't seem to go in right, leave the screw there. Loosen off the front one a bit. And then go back. And you should go right in. And then give that a good snug turn. And go back to your front. Tighten that down snug. Okay. Check to make sure your safety works. Okay, all good to go. Alright, next, transfer port O-ring. Now your transfer port has a tall section and a short section. You want to put the short section in to the transfer port ring. And it just sits in there just like that. Next is your barrel and breech. Line your barrel up. Get it as centered as you can. And then it should just pop right down into place. Take your rear sight and your rear sight screw. Put them in. Don't worry about your sight alignment right now. And then just till it stops and just a little turn extra. Next we're going to put the barrel band on. And we're not going to tighten it right away. Just going on there to keep the barrel from flopping to the side. And we're going to put our breech screw back in. It was actually getting a little worn. We'll change the breech screw. Alright, breech screw. Now, just until it stops on its own, and then just give it a little snug twist, that's it. That's all you need to do. Locks that down nice and solid. Alright, now you notice there's an indent here in the barrel. That's for the barrel band. So you can basically eyeball that as best as you can. And just give it a little wiggle to make sure it's sat on there. And then just tighten it down a little bit. And then try and eyeball this so that the barrel appears to be straight. Now, tighten down this one on the bottom. Now, we can tighten down the top. Check our barrel. Looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Okay, pop the end cap on. Now for the front sight. Try and get it as even as possible. And then a little bit of a push. That looks good. Now what I like to do at this point, because I know it's not on all the way, but I know it's on pretty straight. So I do is just give it a little tap, and that seats the rest of the way on. And then I check. That looks pretty good. Okay, that's pretty much center, so we have a starting point. So we're going to have to realign the sights next. That's later, not part of this video though. Now, put one of our grips on. Doesn't matter if you start with the left or the right. Don't ever overtilt these screws either. Just go until they stop on their own. Okay? And then just a little bit of a snug. That's all you need. That all looks good. Okay. That is how you disassemble and reassemble the Crosman 2240. Hope you enjoyed the video, and see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.